Come on in.
All day I rush around, but I'm still on the ground, on the ground.
Get on in here. It's time for
I'll
tea.
soon be fluttering if I can find my wings, find my wings.
Come on in. The water's hot.
Impatiently, I want to fly today.
Wow.
But I hear a gentle voice inside me say that slow and steady steps will be my pace. Slow and steady steps will win this race. It will take some time, but the victory will be mine. Slow and steady, I'm gonna learn to fly. I'm starting to believe.
Come on in.
I only race with me, only me. I can't give to someone else this journey for myself. It's for myself. Since my best is all I have, it is enough. I can see a ray of hope. I've got to trust that slow and steady steps will be my pace. Slow and steady steps will win this race. It will take some time, but the victory will be mine. Slow and steady, I'm gonna learn to fly. And
Okay, that gets loud. Anyway, my sister told me that Farmville, North Carolina, had a gas line severed. A natural gas line was severed, and someone just said on here they have natural gas again. So I guess they got it fixed. It's taken a day to do that. Sorry, y'all had to go through some problems, but you never know what the problems are going to be. With a natural gas leak, you might have been evacuated. Could you evacuate in 3 minutes' time to get out of the house? So, knowing what you would take with you in the event of an evacuation, I have a suitcase sitting right over there that has everything I need to keep going. Now, I would need to grab this stand I have right here with my phones on it and my iPad, but I'd be good. I'd grab my computer out from under my desk, and we are good to go. And I've had to do it when our house caught on fire a few years ago. It's been about 10 years. It was right after Robert retired. He's 72. He was 60. So, right after he retired. And we had a fire. I know we got hit by lightning. A tree out in the woods got hit, and it split the tree, came down the roots, hit a root which was next to a fence, and we had a fence coming to the house. It didn't actually touch the house, but the lightning went from the fence and jumped to a nail in our soffit underneath our kitchen. And at that point, it ran into the house, It hit the trunk line of our air conditioning unit and blew a hole in the Freon pipe this big, because we have a heat pump, as big as my thumb. And I heard the noise, and Robert was downstairs, and I hollered downstairs, "Are you okay?" And he said, "I'm good, but we have fire," and that meant call 911. So I called 911. Fire truck was on its way, but in the meantime, we had 3 dogs and 2 cats, same 2 cats we've got, and we had to get them out of the house. So Michelle took the dogs and put them in her Subaru, and I got the treats for the kitty, and I shook them, and the cats came outside, so we got the critters outside. Robert emptied a fire extinguisher on the place where there was fire, because we have a fire extinguisher in the shop, we have a fire extinguisher at the base of the steps, we have a fire extinguisher at the top of our steps. We're ready. We are ready. And I grabbed my computer and my travel bag and stuck it in my car. And I sat in my car waiting for Robert to get out of the house and for the fire truck to get there. And sure enough, it came. By that time, Robert had the fire out. But the house would have probably burned if Robert hadn't been home, because I wouldn't have known to look on that end of the house. And then the basement filled up with the Freon gas, so it was cloudy. I didn't know what was smoke and what was Freon. We didn't know it was Freon at the time. But we were prepared to evacuate if we needed to. And that's a good feeling, knowing that you can do that and you're not running around trying to figure out what you're going to take, because you know exactly everything we have in our house could be replaced. My critters couldn't be replaced, our critters. Robert couldn't be replaced. I could go buy a computer, and at this time, when this happened, it wasn't as easy to be hooked up to the cloud as it is now. Right now, all I'd have to do is go buy a new computer and sign into it, and everything would be on my computer. It's that fast now, if I'd had to replace it. So folks, having a plan, sticking to that plan, is going to make you feel calm in the face of emergency. And I was going to talk about butterflies today. And the Fly Lady logo at one time started out having butterfly wings. And it's a really good analogy to what we do. We want you to, it's like you're coming out of a cocoon. And butterflies go through these stages. They're an egg, and then they're a nymph, and they're a caterpillar. They're pupa stage and a caterpillar, and then they go back into, they spin their web, and then they emerge from that cocoon. And we have cocooned ourselves in a home full of clutter. And we've really done it since COVID. And if you haven't taken advantage of COVID to grow and to stretch your wings, you have missed out on some wonderful times to change, to transform, metamorphosis, to become a new person, really and truly. So, but the struggle it takes for the butterfly to get out of the cocoon, that struggle, just like a little chicken hatching from an egg. He has an egg tooth on the top of his beak. So you see, that struggle gives us strength. Right now, anytime we go through a bad situation, Patty and I say, what can we learn from it? What lesson is God trying to teach us? And that's a great way to deal with the storms of life. We've got a winter storm coming in. It's getting pretty dark right now. Robert's got a fire going. We're just relaxing, enjoying just a little, just the calm before the storm. We don't know if we're going to get an ice storm. We've had ice storms before. We've had to go down the driveway at 5 in the morning so he could get out to go to court. There's my friend Martha. So folks, drink your tea. Enjoy the day that God has given you. And take a little time to be prepared for what could be coming. Whether it's an ice storm, a gas leak, an evacuation from your town, a train derailment. Most of the time we have issues with storms. Winter storms, rain storms, bridges out. It could all happen. But when you're prepared to be at home for a while, when you're prepared, it's comforting. You don't have to worry about what you're going to feed your family because you got food in the refrigerator. You got food in the pantry. And if the power goes out, now we have a generator, but if the power goes out for more than 4 or 5 days, we're in trouble too. So we would probably sparse out, we would ration our generator time. We would run it once a day, fill the bathtub up with water so that we could flush the toilets, because it doesn't take electricity to flush a toilet, but it takes water to flush a toilet. Now, I have seen an interesting setup where you take garbage bags and you put a bunch of garbage bags on a 5-gallon bucket, or you take all the water out of your toilet and just put them over your toilet seat. But I think it'd fit better over a 5-gallon bucket. And you can buy these buckets on Amazon with a toilet seat already on them. And you just make a potty seat. Like your children had potty seats for learning how to not have to have a diaper, in other words. And you get some kitty litter, and you put some kitty litter down in the bottom of the bag, and there you have it. And then you tie up the bag when you get through and put it in a big garbage bag. Yeah, keep everything from smelling, and you're ready. This is a good thing if you don't have water. Somebody wrote yesterday that every time they clean out a milk jug, they fill it with water and they let it evaporate to get the chlorine out of it. And then they seal it up and put it in their pantry. So they have a couple of extra gallons of water. Now, I would put a drop of chlorine bleach in that. You can get on YouTube and figure they tell you how to store water. But another thing to do, and you wouldn't have to put chlorine in it, is to only fill it 3/4 of the way full and put it in your freezer. And then, in the event that the power goes out, you have some milk jugs in there taking up the volume of space with ice, and you have a huge ice chest. Yeah, you need a manual can opener. I hate electric ones, so I've only always had a manual can opener. But it's just little things like that. I have the ability to cook on my fireplace if need be. Also, with the generator, I could plug in a crock pot and a coffee maker, and we'd be good to go. But we don't have a stove. But I could cook over an open fire because Robert has built me a grate to go over it, just like a cooking surface. So I could have a big pan of water, and that's what I always do when I'm camping, a huge, like 16-quart pot that I could boil water. And then you've got hot water for taking a little spit bath and hot water for washing dishes. You got it. So it's all about being prepared. Preparation gives you peace, especially in trying times, whether it's a storm or whatever. It gives you peace knowing that you can feed your family, because that people get shot for stealing. So if you don't have to leave your house and you got food, you're good to go. Anyway, drink up. Our struggles make us stronger. They really do. All you got to do is just accept them and say, what can I learn? What did I do? And after the storm is over, what would you do different? What do you need to replace? As soon as we had the fire and Robert used up the fire extinguisher, we bought all new fire extinguishers, which reminds me, I need to check the expiration date on our fire extinguishers. It may be time to get new ones. They're not that expensive. And they could save your castle. Well, y'all be careful in North Texas. The storm is coming across the country, and it's going to be a nor'easter up to New England before the night's over with. I love you all. Please keep Rebecca's Fly Lady Rebecca's children in your thoughts and prayers. The babies lost their daddy this week. He died in his sleep. He was a good guy. I always loved their daddy. I've known him since 1995. He built my ponds and my wall outside. He was a creative person. So folks, keep those babies in your prayers. And just, death is part of living. See you later. Wow. I love you. Bye.